Hey guys, it's Brianna here. So I just shot this awesome video all about something that I just learned and a whole kind of like plan and everything, and it was so good, and the audio was lagging like wicked bad because it was long. Oh, so that means just means I get to start over. That means I get to start over and make it better, right? So today I want to share with you something that I learned. Really kind of important key aha moment, It's one of those like I was doing it wrong, but I didn't realize I was doing it wrong until I was presented with this new information. And this new information that I want to give you is that people buy why. People buy why. Like when I realized that people don't buy a product for what it does, or people don't follow a person for what they do. They follow a person because of why they're doing something. Why they get up out of bed every morning, why they put their right shoe on before their left. People follow people, and people want to buy things from people who have a vision and have a clear, crystal clear why and intention and vision for the future. Now, I learned this in a book called Start With Why. Cool name, right? Pretty self-explanatory, by Simon Sinek. I'll put a link down below the video, wherever you see it, whether it's on YouTube or on my blog, either below the video, in the description, somewhere there will be a link to buy Simon Sinek's book. It's an awesome book. It's an awesome book if you're interested in leading or in business, or if you are looking for somebody to be led by. If you're more of the person that will stand behind somebody no matter what. If you're not so much of a visionary, this book is also for you. You know what I mean? It's an incredible book for all kinds of acts of life, whether it be business, marketing, kind of goes hand in hand, sports, or just interpersonal relationships. You can use and take the concepts from this book and use it into your everyday life. Anyway, so start with why. To give you an example, I want to talk about Apple. Apple Incorporated. Every time, it's funny, like when I say the word Apple, you don't think of like a fruit. You think of a computer or an iPhone or an iPad or Steve Jobs. Like that's iconic and incredible. And people have said that Apple's die-hard Apple fans and even Apple employees, that Steve Jobs and the Apple Corporation have almost a cult-like following. And that is because Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniakowski, I don't remember his last name, but the two guys who started Apple, I know Steve Jobs, but he didn't actually invent the computer. He had the vision of putting a computer on the desk of every American, and not even Americans, but in the desk of every single person around the world. That was his vision, and that is why so many people stick behind him and have stuck behind him from the time he was 21 until he died at a couple of years ago. But anyway, people have stuck behind him because he was such an active leader, and he was constantly pushing the normal, pushing the status quo, pushing for greatness. And people rally behind that, and people want to be a part of what Apple has to offer. That's why you cannot deter a hardcore Apple lover from their Apple computer or their iPhone. And I found this funny, a guy that I actually bought. I'm a recent Mac owner. I've been a PC girl my whole life, Android girl my whole life, but I was talking to the sales rep at Best Buy, and he told me, he's like, once you go Mac, you never go back. And I was like, oh my God, that's so funny. This is really funny. So, and it's true. I mean, like, that guy that I was talking to, like, he was a hardcore Mac user. Like, he had gotten a Mac when he was little. His parents were Mac users. He was no older than me, maybe like 21, young kid, youngin, like me, like myself. And, he was like, yeah, my parents got me a Mac. I have an iPhone. I have an iPad. I have, like, I won't buy anything else because I love Apple so much, because it speaks to him as an individual. And individuals are different, Everybody that walks the face of the earth is different in some way, but Apple has found a way to speak to millions all over the world. And they don't even have the highest, they're not even technically leading in sales. They're leading in the fact that they are revolutionizing the way people use computers and small electronics. But anyway, Apple has a way of communicating with each individual follower on a personal level. And that is what's so iconic about Apple. I mean, anybody can see the little apple with the bite bitten out of it and know what it is, what it means, and what it stands for. That's iconic and that's incredible. And people have not bought a computer. They have not bought an iPhone. They have not bought an iPad. They have not bought, I think they have TV now too, or something like that, like iTV or something like that. They have not bought the products. They have bought the vision. They have bought the vision and they have bought the why. And until I realized this, I was all over the place. I had no idea what I was doing. I mean, like, I had an idea of what I was doing. I did. I mean, like, I knew what I wanted, but I didn't know why. Fancy that, right? I knew what I wanted from my life, but I didn't know why I wanted. And until I read this book, I figured out my why. And my why is to show as many people as I possibly can that there's another way to corporate America, that there's another way to making money, and that you don't have to be tied to corporate America for the rest of your life. There is a better way than the 9 to 5 for making money. There is a better way for trading your time for $10 an hour or $13 an hour, anywhere from like $10 an hour to $50 an hour, I think is like the most you can make during an hourly salary. I'm pretty sure that's it. I'm not really sure though. I can't imagine it being much more, being like being in a corporate setting doing, computer work or whatever you're doing. But I mean, there is a better way than being chained to a desk. And I know that some of you are watching this video like, what do you know about corporate America? Like, you know nothing. And you know what? I don't. I don't know much about corporate America. My job is to scan paperwork into a computer. Like, that's easy. And that is cush. So I can go to my job and plug in my headphones and listen to audiobooks, and I can listen to inner circle audios and motivational audios and whatever I want to listen to. Lessons, lectures from my teachers. I can listen to that too. And I scan paperwork in, and I don't have to ask to go to the bathroom. That's huge. I've heard horror stories from my mom and from like family members that are like, yeah, when I used to work at, blah, blah, blah place. This is my mom telling me this story. When I used to work at, XYZ International, I used to have to ask to go to the bathroom. And they'd be like, yeah, okay, you want to go to the bathroom? Okay, you have 3 minutes off the clock. If you're a second late, we'll, take your lunch away or whatever. Don't be late, get demoted or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what they'd do if they were a second late, but Jesus Christ, I wouldn't want to find out. 3 minutes to go to the bathroom? Like, what if I gotta do more than pee? That's, Anyway, so I don't want that for people. There is a better way, and there is a better, bigger, brighter future than getting up to go sit at a desk for 8 hours to come home for 6 and go to bed. There's a better way than that. And I want to show as many people as I can that you can make money doing other things. It doesn't have to be your 9 to 5. I mean, like, if you get up every morning and you jump out of bed and you jump into your pants and you jump into your car and you jump into your seat at your desk and you plug away and you are happier than, a baby with a new toy, then by golly, continue with your 9 to 5. I don't want to take that away from you. But if you want something new, if you want something fresh, if you don't want typical, if you don't want normal, then I offer you a solution. And the solution for me, might not be for you, but for me was Empower Network. I'll give you the link below. Click that. It'll give you all the details. I'll also send a link to Start With Why as well. I mentioned that already though. That was my why. Like, I don't want, and another thing for me was my kids. When I have children, I don't want to have to say goodbye to them. every single morning. I don't want to have to put them in a dirty, smelly daycare with, everybody else and their dirty, smelly kids, and everybody's dirty, smelly kids creating dirty, smelly germs and all that yuckiness. Because, like, I've grown up, ever since I was like 10 years old, I've grown up babysitting. I've grown up being a caretaker. I've been put in that situation. I've been put in positions where I've had to take care of younger kids, whether it be neighborhood kids or family members or even like parents' friends, kind of friend of a friend thing. People have always come to me to take care of their children, which is an incredible honor. And like, I didn't realize that until recently when I was actually filling out my application for my corporate American job. And I was like, I really haven't done much. And then and then my mom was like, you have been a babysitter for like half your life. And I was like, oh yeah. So, I mean, like, but, I mean, you may not think this, but I know what it's like to have to look into a kid's eyes and to tell them goodbye every day. To have them look at you and cry and say, no, no, nah, no, don't go. And that's hard. And I can't imagine what that is like for my own kids. I mean, like, these kids weren't even mine. And I was, getting a little teary-eyed with them. Like, I don't want to go. I really don't. But I will because I have to. And your parents are back, so I kind of can't take you with me. But, like, I know what it's like to look into a child's eyes and say goodbye. For every single day. That's hard. That's hard. I have 2 dogs at home, and like, I know, like, it's nothing like a child and having a child, but like, having to look into my dog's eyes and, give them a treat before I go and tell them, okay, sweetheart, okay, guys, I'll be back in 8 hours. Maybe if I don't have to run to the store. See you at 6. That's hard for me every single morning, and that's why I don't want to be in corporate America anymore, and I don't want anybody else to have to feel like they have to give their kids to somebody else. That's why I'm here. That's why I get up every single morning. That's why I put my pants on, why I make coffee, and why I drag my ass into work and sit at a desk and scan papers for an exorbitant amount of money. And I'm extremely grateful for that job because it's funding my business. It's getting my business off the ground. But yeah, that's why I do what I do. Is when I have kids, I don't want them to have to go to a dirty, stinky, smelly daycare. I don't want to have to say goodbye to them every single day. So that's my why. If you'd like to know more information and have more information about the Empower Network and about what I do and more knowledge, then click the link below and I'll see you on the other side. Bye, guys.